Have you ever stopped to think that that simple crayon, present in practically every school in the world, hides one of the most curious and impressive industrial processes that exist? What seems like just a colorful piece of wax actually depends on tons of raw materials, gigantic tanks, highly precise machines and engineering designed to transform heat, pigment and chemistry into something that has marked generations. And behind all of this lies a story that began more than a century ago and continues almost identically to this day. The modern process begins long before the factory. It all starts with paraffin, a substance derived from petroleum or coal, which arrives at the facilities in enormous tanker trucks. It comes completely liquid, kept at over 57 degrees C, because it only needs to cool slightly to harden like a candle. As soon as the trucks unload, the paraffin goes to giant silos, some capable of storing more than 60,000 liters. Everything is controlled with extreme care, because we are talking about a flammable material that needs to remain hot, clean, and stable. Meanwhile, in another sector, the colors are being prepared. The pigments that will bring the colored pencils to life are produced from secret formulas, specially developed to guarantee brilliance, uniformity, and non-toxicity. They arrive in the form of a very fine powder, after undergoing days of drying and filtering. Each color needs to be absolutely consistent, because millions of crayons need to be identical year after year. Only after everything is ready does the real alchemy begin. The hot paraffin is directed to large industrial boilers, where it will be mixed with additional ingredients. One of the most important is clay, which helps to give the crayon strength and prevents it from breaking easily. Specific chemicals are also added to prevent the mixture from sticking to the molds and to increase durability. And then comes the most anticipated moment. The pigments are incorporated, dyeing the entire mass with an intense and uniform color. Inside these tanks, enormous metal paddles spin endlessly. The goal is simple: to ensure that every drop of wax has exactly the same shade, texture, and shine. The mixture must be perfect. No bubbles, no flaws, no blemishes. A small mistake here means thousands of defective crayons. Once the mixture is completely homogeneous, it is pumped into the heart of the factory, the rotary machine that transforms that hot liquid into thousands of colored pencils per hour. And that's where the magic of the mold, the cooling, and the classic shape that everyone recognizes begins. When the hot mixture of paraffin, clay, and pigments is ready, it is sent directly to the most fascinating piece of equipment in the entire production line, the rotary molding machine. It is here that the colored liquid, still at almost 80 degrees C, takes shape and transforms into the classic cylinder that everyone recognizes from childhood. This machine works like a huge metal carousel spinning endlessly. With each turn, it injects liquid wax into hundreds of tiny molds, arranged in perfect rows. These molds can be made of metal or silicone and are designed to create the exact, standardized, and universal shape of the crayon, with the conical tip, smooth body, and perfect size for a child's grip. As soon as the wax enters the mold, the most critical stage begins: cooling. Ice-cold water circulates behind the molds, rapidly lowering the temperature and causing the wax to harden in less than a minute. It's a race against time. If it cools too quickly, the chalk may crack. Too slowly, it loses its shape. Decades of engineering were needed to achieve the perfect balance. As the wax solidifies, something amazing happens. The pigments become trapped inside the structure, ensuring vibrant and consistent colors. After this instant freezing, special blades scrape off the excess wax that remains on top of the molds. Nothing is wasted. This material goes back into the tank, is melted down, and reused in the production of new crayons. When the machine completes each cycle, it releases hundreds of brand new crayons. A single machine can produce more than 2,700 units per cycle, and since several operate simultaneously, the factory can produce more than 30,000 crayons per hour. It's a constant, precise, almost hypnotic flow. Soon after, the solidified chalk enters another essential stage: inspection. Employees and automated sensors analyze each unit, looking for defects such as cracks, internal bubbles, and pigmentation flaws. If something is wrong, that chalk doesn't proceed. It returns to the remelting area, where it will be melted again and reused. Nothing escapes quality control. Everything needs to be perfect. With this, the chalk already has its final form. Only one crucial detail is missing, which gives identity and transforms each piece into a product recognized worldwide: the label. And it is precisely this process that reveals one of the most precise tasks in the entire factory. Now that each crayon has come out of the molds, hardened and perfectly colored, one of the most delicate and surprisingly complex stages of the entire process comes into play: labeling. Just think about it. You've probably never seen a crayon without that rolled-up paper indicating the color, protecting your fingers, and giving it the classic identity that's part of the collective imagination of millions of people around the world. But for that label to be perfectly aligned, without wrinkling, peeling off, or becoming crooked, there's a machine created exclusively for that purpose. It all begins when each crayon falls individually into the grooves of a rotating disc. This disc spins the crayon at the exact moment a thin layer of glue is applied to where the label will be. The precision is incredible. Any extra drop could run and ruin the finish. Any drop less could cause the label to come off. Next, the paper is pressed against the crayon by a system of rollers that surrounds the cylinder and ensures perfect adhesion. Then, a small mechanical arm finishes the rolling at the exact point, creating that clean, professional finish you instantly recognize. A single machine can label up to 8,500 pieces of chalk per hour. And because this step needs to keep up with the frenetic pace of the rotary molding machines, several of them operate simultaneously, without pause. The result is a continuous line of perfectly colored labeled chalk, ready to face the next challenge: final quality control. Here, a specialized team performs an extremely rigorous check. Random samples from each batch undergo hardness tests, color verification, label integrity checks, and even abrasion resistance tests. They need to ensure that the chalk doesn't break easily, that the color is intense, that the label is secure, and that the product is completely safe for children. Any flaw, however small, can take thousands of units off the market. Only after this approval does the crayon proceed to the stage that seals its journey within the factory: packaging. In automated machines, the crayons are counted one by one, arranged in perfect rows, and inserted into cardboard boxes or plastic containers depending on the kit. The famous boxes with 8, 12, 24 or 48 colors are assembled at high speed, folded, locked and stacked on conveyor belts that take everything to the logistics area. There, the packages are boxed, palletized and separated according to each destination: retailers, schools, distributors and shopping centers around the world. Everything needs to be fast, organized and traceable because the demand is immense and continuous. A large factory produces crayons practically non-stop, 24 hours a day, ensuring that stores never run out of this simple and essential item. And so ends the industrial journey of a crayon, from liquid paraffin in giant tanks, through precise chemical mixtures, millimeter-precise molding, rigorous inspections and delicate labeling, until it reaches your hands or the hands of millions of children who discover the world through drawing. Such a small object, but with such a large process behind it. Now tell me something. Did you imagine that the production of crayons was so complex and full of details? If this video surprised you, please leave a like, because it really helps the channel. If you enjoyed trivia like this, subscribe so you don't miss future content. And of course, comment below. What other everyday item would you like to discover how it's made inside factories? I read everything, and I can turn your curiosity into the next video on the channel.